fig Newton, put it in a blender, and carbonated it. And made it bitter. And that was the pink lemonade one. Hello, friends, and welcome back to the archives for, I guess, another theory that I'll be reacting to. Once again, Fenrug found me online and said, hey, they're doing a theory on Coke disappearing. And I mean Coca-Cola. This is a family-safe channel, right? Yeah. Today I'm joined here by Ambi. She'll be reacting with me. She hasn't done one of these videos ever, and she hasn't, well, seen the video at all either. So we'll both be blind reacting to this. I'm kind of curious on what the hell this is going to be about. I love Coca-Cola. I've been drinking it since I was a fetus. I mean, seriously. And they still haven't sponsored me. But why? Why? They need to do that. So, yes. So, we're going to start the video. We're going to see what the hell this theory is about. And, ready for it?
Ready.
Are you sure?
I mean, how much more ready can it be?
You can be very ready.
Okay,
like
very
ultra
ready.
super ready.
I'm ultra super
okay.
ready.
Today is a sad day, dearest friends. Today, we're talking about the extinction of the polar bears. No, not those polar bears. These polar bears. They will no longer have anything to drink or even be able to complete their snowmen by littering in the Arctic because Coca-Cola might not be around for very much longer. You heard me right. These poor bears are losing their only source of carbonated refreshment and— Wait, oh no, I didn't even think about Matt's Diet Coke. Hold on. I gotta check on him.
Matt, you doing all right, buddy? No, your tears are not gonna taste like Diet Coke.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Food Theory, the show that goes down smooth but does make you a little burpy later. Really?
New host.
I can't believe we approved that line. Yes, hi, hello, it's head editor Dan again. Matt lost his voice at VidCon and we still can't find it in the Lost and Found, so you got me this week! Isn't that exciting? Today we're talking about pop, sodas, soft drinks, fizzy drinks, cola, whatever it is you call it. Even if you call every type of soda Coke, the drink is almost synonymous with American cuisine. Today, as we speak, 63% of Americans have a sugary drink every day. And while the number is still high, it's been on its way down for quite some time as more and more people turn away from high sugar beverages. Coca-Cola and PepsiCo, the two biggest names in the soft drink game, have spent big marketing bucks to stay at the forefront, even with a public that is becoming increasingly health conscious and sometimes looking for less Coke and more kombucha as their afternoon pick-me-up. That said, the soft drink companies are—
Okay, I've had both Coke and kombucha. We have kombucha at where I work. I've had it. It's not that bad. It's hard to explain the flavor.
I haven't even tried it yet.
Imagine if you took a fig Newton, put it in a blender, and carbonated it. And made it bitter. And that was the pink lemonade one.
There's different flavors?
There's different flavors of kombucha. And I had a few of those and I felt regular afterwards, but still, Coke. Coke. Okay, let's
some of the smartest marketers on the planet, and when they see big movements towards less sugar in people's lives, they know they need to adapt or be left behind like the beverage companies of the past. Ever heard of New Icy Soda Company? Tropical Delight? Knee-High Soda Company that advertised using a woman's legs where you could see knee-high? Get it? Yeah, I didn't think so. They're all goners because they didn't do what it took to stay in the game. And you could definitely bet that Coke's not looking to join their ranks. So what do they plan to do about it? They plan to replace themselves with themselves. No, really, it's kind of genius, and I'll show you how they're doing it. To understand Coke's strategy, it helps to understand the state of the sugary soda union out there. The possible death of the original Coca-Cola would be no joke, but right now it doesn't look like they're in bad shape. Sodas make up 65% of sugary drink sales, which also includes fruit drinks, sweetened teas, coffees, still not a soup, and energy drinks. But since 2004, the consumption of soft drinks per person fell from 47.5 gallons to 42.9 gallons, roughly a 10% decrease. Sales of sugary sodas have also been on a steady decline after peaking in the early 2000s, which is when diet programs like the Atkins diet and low-carb movement really took hold. They replaced fat with sugar as public enemy number one in weight loss, and organizations like the American Heart Association also started to release guidelines on sugar consumption for children, which quickly made it clear that 40% of children's bodies were basically just marshmallows, and we really need to cut it out. So soda went on a no-no list for young kids as well. Overall, the decline in sugary drink consumption is slow, but more striking for kids who are future customers not getting hooked early like many of the companies would like them to be. So what do you do when sugary drinks become a no-no? Well, if you've been a fan of the channel for a minute, you know that Matt has an unhealthy relationship with Diet Coke, so he personally would suggest that. But for Coca-Cola, there are issues with that suggestion. The big problem with just trying to switch everyone from Coke to Diet Coke is that Diet Coke is almost too successful for that. That sounds crazy, but think about this. A 2021 article that looked at the 10 best-selling sodas in America listed #1 and #2 spots at both being Coke, namely Coke as #1 and Diet Coke as #2 respectively. That means if you just drop Coke and try to shift everyone to Diet Coke, you actually lose the #1 spot. You lose that 1-2 punch of being the top 2 brands, and potentially you lose a bunch of your market share. Rankings like those show that Diet Coke is clearly different from regular Coke in people's minds because they each have huge and different parts of the soda market. Something about the way Coke tastes, some health aspect, heck, how cool people feel when they hold the bottle. Whatever it is, something is different in people's minds between Coke and Diet Coke. So Coke has to find a way to replace itself with something that gives people the magic that Coke gives them, not just push them to diet. So what's a beverage mega corporation to do? Well, they have a plan, and it involves some familiar moves in the soda playbook. If you remember back to our new
Coke
Pepsi
Zero?
branding episode, which if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. But in that episode, we talked about how Pepsi is constantly changing its branding to appeal to a younger demographic, so they can be the soda of the hip new generation, whatever that next generation is. We talked about how they were doing that using subtle changes to their logo, including the use of black, to more closely associate Pepsi with zero-calorie versions of the drink. At the time, we noted that Coca-Cola had a different strategy, since they're the company that has been very slow to change their classic branding over the years. Coke has always been the stalwart mainstay of the soda world, but in a bizarre twist, it seems like these two titans of carbonation might be on the same wavelength, but instead of pulling a Pepsi by coming out blazing with all new logos and branding, Coke's strategy is that they would rather you not notice a thing. Take a look at this, the new branding of Coke Zero as of 2021. Here's a bottle of regular Coke next to it. Notice anything similar? Like the whole bottle? Turns out, instead of turning Coke Zero into its own hero brand like Diet Coke and making it stand out on its own, Coke has been subtly working for years to make these two brands nigh on indistinguishable. This effort started back in 2017 when Coke wanted to convince more people to switch over to Coke Zero, seeing that
You know, my dad drinks Coke Zero because he can't have regular Coke anymore, and because too much sugar for him, and he can't handle the sugar intake as much. And I tried Coke Zero. People say it tastes the same. They taste identical. Bullshit. I can taste an immediate difference with Coke Zero.
There is a difference.
Even with a blind taste test, I can taste Coke Zero is completely different. And I am sorry, I cannot do Coke Zero. It's like Diet Coke to me. I grab a Coke Zero if I'm desperate. But yeah, I cannot go for Coke Zero. It doesn't have the same flavor.
It's a little bit off.
It doesn't have that same kick in the ass in the morning. I mean, I'll have a... Coke is my preferred thing. I'll drink that before I drink coffee in the morning. Actually, I prefer it because it has that bite. It has that crisp taste to it that kicks you in the ass and says, wake up.
You're a little obsessed.
Not obsessed. I can quit anytime. Anytime. Anytime.
Uh-huh. So believable.
You believe me. Let's go on.
early downturn in sugary soda drinking. At that time, Coke released a statement on the 2017 branding, where their CEO, James Quincy, mentioned Coke's new one-brand strategy that aimed to make people think of Coke as one united brand, not as all the separate Cokes like Diet and Coke Life or whatever else was floating around, maybe like the Dream World Coke. Dream World Coke was fun. So they rebranded Coke Zero as Coca-Cola Zero Sugar, which is what it's called today, subtly reinforcing that this is the original Coke, just without the sugar. They brought brought the taste closer to the original and started to slowly do away with the completely black label. Instead, Coke brought in classic Coca-Cola Red, and the evolution began. We reached our final form of Coca-Cola Zero Sugar in 2021 as the definitive version after Coke again tweaked the formula, bringing it even closer to the original taste. At this point, Coke's same CEO highlighted that Coke Zero was now the biggest source of growth for the company in 2021. It even grew in 2020 during the pandemic. Andy stated that it would also be the biggest growth driver for the foreseeable future. It was then that Coke Zero completely did away with the black branding, except for the text, making it identical to regular Coke, with the exception being the zero sugar below the Coca-Cola name. Now, the result is a soda that looks like Coke, reminds you it's Coke on the bottle, and tastes very similar to the original. Could you accidentally pick one up instead of a regular Coke and barely know the difference? That certainly seems to be the hope for the future.
The original Coke Zero was actually better than what it is now.
Yeah, it actually had a little more of a Coke taste to it, actually. Like, it wasn't exactly Coke, but it tried, you know? They tried a different sweetener. They didn't try using, like, sweetener like they do for Diet Coke. But it was still off. The newer stuff tastes like if you just had a Coke sitting out in the sun for about an hour and it went flat. You have Coke Zero. You know, even with carbonation, it doesn't save it. I'm just... like I said, if I'm desperate, I'll have a Coke Zero. I'd rather go for the original. I'd rather go for the red and white can. I'm happy with that. I see a Coca-Cola, I see a regular red and white can, and I get warm and fuzzy feelings. I get happy, okay? Cherry Coke. That's just a plus sometimes. That's just like a little delight. Like, not an everyday thing, but a cherry Coke is just like, oh, we're having a party today. It's something nice for on occasion. You know, Coke has had many different flavors throughout the years. Not all have been canned either. I mean, like, orange Coke. I actually like orange Coke.
Yeah, no, I couldn't do that one.
You know, it's got a weird taste to it, but I can taste the citrus and I can taste the Coke. I'm happy. Vanilla Coke is really smooth Coke. I
miss the lime Coke.
Lime Coke's a little bitter, but it's okay. I liked it a little bit. But I remember back when they had, what was it? No caffeine Coke. They still have that, the gold cans. And they're not talking about it. That's just blasphemous. That's just carbonated water with a little bit of flavoring, maybe? I don't know what the hell you call that. Coke without the caffeine. Don't know how they would mix in that. I don't know how they would make that, really. That just sounds weird. But how people can prefer zero sugar or Coke Zero over the original, I mean, everybody has their own tastes. You know, one person might prefer this, one person might prefer that. I know a guy who's a diehard Dr. Pepper fan. Fender Rock. He will live and die Dr. Pepper. But he also likes Mr. Pibb-A-Lot. Which you found out he actually likes more than Dr. Pepper. I thought it was hilarious. In a blind taste test, he actually preferred Mr. Pibb.
That's funny.
But, I mean, like I said, everybody has their own taste. I prefer the regular can. You know, the red and white original taste. You know, minus the Coke in the name. But I think might still have it in there sometimes. Anyways, going on with the video. Side tangent over.
Future of the Coca-Cola company, and personally may or may not have worked on me. That said, there's even more to this brand makeover than a little zero sugar camouflage. It's actually a play at a whole new generation of soda drinkers. The specific ones in our graph at the beginning of the episode who are declining big time when it comes to sugary soda buying. Young people, kids, not me. Like Pepsi in our previous episode, Coke recognizes that Gen Z requires a little bit of a different marketing approach, and some of the previous tactics just don't resonate with this group. Originally, Coke Zero had no intention of being a young person's drink specifically. Instead, it was going to be for a totally different demographic. Dude bros, the guys, the boys. That's right, after years of Diet Coke being perceived as a women's drink, because, you know, losing weight and dieting, I guess, is just a little too girly, I suppose. Zero was supposed to be a manly drink for manly men. To really crystallize who this was marketed to, take a look at this commercial from around the launch in 2005.
From the makers of Coca-Cola Zero comes a taste of life as it should be.
Whipped cream or chocolate sauce?
Both. Real taste, zero sugar.
As a man, I think I'm supposed to resonate with the lady in a motorcycle helmet getting vanilla and chocolate sauce poured on her. But what really got me is the guy getting airlifted in a helicopter while the convenience store he was just in explodes with his ex and her new boyfriend in it. Ripperonis. The lore implications are incredibly dark, but then again, I'm a man and I'm distracted by the manliness and also by the snakes. But not for what you think, I just want to boop every one of their snoots. People loved this when Coke Zero launched in 2005. It became Coke's most successful launch since Diet Coke itself, which maybe says less about soda and more about men. Point being, contrast this approach to marketing with Gen Z. Not excited about gender stereotypes, cares about fossil fuel destroying the environment, cares about animal rights,
explosions,
prefers electric vehicles. I guess the chocolate sauce is okay, but wait, I guess they're more conscious of their sugar consumption according to it. Buzz it! So clearly, to reach a new generation, Coke Zero needed to do some growing up of its own. What about Diet Coke? Can't Gen Z just drink that? Well, sure, but they're also statistically not as content to settle for Diet Coke because diet as a word has fallen out of fashion with millennials and Gen Zers. According to a 2021 study, the diet designation is often associated with strict regimens or deprivations, whereas zero has fewer negative connotations, implying a cleaner profile. Gen Z does historically respond to things that are marketed as clean, like chocolate, energy drinks, granola bars, and the like. The clean eating movement, whether it's actually cleaner than other movements before, it has the young people's number. And now, so does Coke Zero. Going forward, we already see evidence of Coca-Cola trying to get zero sugar to eclipse its main brand and be the first version of Coke young people reach for. Case in point, Coke's newest product launch as part of their Coca-Cola Creations lines, Coca-Cola Ultimate. In case you have no idea what I'm talking about, the background here is that Coke has been releasing specific limited edition flavors over the last year and a half as part of special promotions that appeal to, you guessed it, young people. The line of special flavors are called the Coca-Cola Creations, and they're specifically designed to appeal to Gen Z because they partner with brands that Gen Z theoretically likes, creating new and unique, usually uniquely bad flavors of soda. They've collaborated with Samsung, Marshmallow, Rosalia to create new soda flavors and have dabbled in augmented reality, customized emojis, and streetwear, all to try and get the cool.
You know, I've seen a few of these. Like, I've had Starlight that tasted like, well, a campfire and some marshmallows. Like, they don't have a distinct flavor. Have you tried one of those?
I don't think I tried that one. I tried something else.
You know, it reminds me of those mystery flavors you get in some candy packs, you know? Like, or like Gushers. Remember the Gushers?
Yes.
Back in my youth. You would have your regular, your lime, your berry, your strawberry, and the white mystery flavor. What is it? Oh, that was fruit punch. But the thing is, with most of these weird branded Cokes, they all have, like, you know, Dream World, Starlight, or if they're mixed in with a celebrity or something like that, or some branding, or, you know, brand partner, they all have a mystery flavor. And a mystery flavor is good if you do it right. You know, if it has a different, like, a unique citrus taste, or it has, like Starlight had, like a woodsy taste, like a burnt taste. I don't know how can you make a Coke burnt? I could taste the ash in the fire. I'm not joking. It tasted like a campfire. Like, you know when you go camping and you smell a campfire burning?
Or just a barbecue.
I could taste it. Me and Thunder Rock deliberated for like hours on what the hell the flavor actually was, and we're everywhere. I think I still have a bottle in your fridge. I need to check that later on.
Please do.
I think it might be flat. Okay, moving on. Just want to tangent over.
cool kids to guzzle down their product. The latest release came out this month as a collaboration with Riot Games' League of Legends, because that game is all the rage. All of the rage that goes straight into my veins as I want to smash my computer screen with my forehead. The point is, the most prominent and easy to find version of the new drink called Coca-Cola Ultimate is the zero sugar version, front and center in the promotional material. The announcement video of the drink only features one bottle with the limited edition flavor, and it's, you guessed it, zero sugar. I was curious, so I went back and revisited all the other Coca-Cola creation flavors and their ads to see if Coke Zero was as prominent there, and lo behold, it was in Rosalia's limited edition, as well as going all the way back to Starlight flavor. That was another episode worth watching if you've ever wondered what the taste of outer space is supposed to be. Here's a quick reaction of us tasting it.
Space tastes weird.
Space tastes very weird. Oh, it comes in stages.
Even on the official website itself, the most prominent packaging featured was for Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. Again, the whole point of these highly interactive creations is to appeal to the younger, hipper Gen Z audience who's looking for something with zero sugar without being called diet. So, what does this all mean for the original? Well, if trends continue down the way they have, eventually Coke sales will start to become overshadowed by the zero sugar variants. Now, Coca-Cola is a company that's almost 100 years old, and they know how to play the long game. This isn't an overnight switch. This is a smart company with the longest track record in the industry, who's hedging their bets in case the whole world goes zero sugar. Right now, Coke Zero Sugar became the 7th best-selling soda in the US in 2021 after growing 13%. And it gained another 11% growth for the last year versus regular Coke with 4%. Even if this shift to zero sugar takes another 20 years to happen in the market, what we can learn about it right now is how well these companies know consumers and how well they know how to market to them, to us. Coke knows that even if you don't want a zero sugar option right now, the more time goes on, the more likely you're going to want to, and they'll be there to crack one open for you that looks and tastes like you never even switched. You can call it good business. You can call it incredibly scary marketing tactics. But one thing Coke has done their darndest to make sure of, they're here to stay. But hey, that's just a theory. A food theory. Bottoms up. Hey, thanks for having me specifically.
You're welcome.
It's always a pleasure to be in the booth. And hey, you don't need to stop watching Food Theory. We got some videos right here. There's one on the left. There's...
You know, no, I love Matt Pat, but I also love the editor. So what are your thoughts? What did you think of the episode? What are your thoughts on Coke losing out?
I think Coke will pick back up. It's classic.
That's true. And it's only one generation's worth of going for the zero. Once again, I would drink a Pepsi over a Coke Zero. Coke Zero is my last pick. Although Diet, we don't even talk about. I grabbed a Diet, my hand just caught fire like it was holy water. Which, according to some music videos, Coke is equivalent to holy water. I shit you not. I was going through some old 80s music videos, and a song by Meatloaf called If You Really Want To. There's a scene in there where he cracks open a can of Coke and pours it into a vampire's coffin. Immediately it bursts into flames. I thought I was hallucinating. I thought he just dumped some water in there. Nope, he actually cracks the can open. It was a can of Coke. He just pours in a vampire's coffin, and the vampire's coffin just immediately burst into flames. So either it's holy water mixed in with Coke, or kerosene.
Coke is just a multi-use.
You heard it here. If you're ever in a fight with the undead, crack open a can of Coke and just spray people with it. Original flavor. They didn't have zero back then. Oh, so honestly, like I said, original might make it back up. Coke Zero is good, but like I said, I would go for it. I see people going for the original flavor.
I do have a preference for the cherry, though.
And you notice they didn't even talk about the variation of flavors. They just talked about just Coke and Coke Zero and Diet. The three main changes to the formula. Because Coke Cherry or Vanilla They didn't even talk about the caffeine-free one. That's been around forever. That's been around since as long as I think it was a little bit after Diet Coke came
Although
out.
it's very rare to actually see it in stores now.
Safeway, I still see it.
You still
Gold
see it
box, gold cans,
there? I must be blind.
partially.
Maybe it's the smudges I get on my glasses.
Wasn't my fault. But, so what's your verdict? Do you think it's going to come back?
Yeah, I do.
You think the theory might be debunked later on? Who knows?
We'll have to wait and see.
I'd rather see Coke come back. I do not want a world ruled by Coke Zero. Because then I'll have to go to Pepsi. Maybe that hurts saying it. I like Pepsi, but it's too sweet for me. Your grandmother loved it.
I was raised on it with Grandma.
Pepsi's good, but it's super sweet. Like it doesn't have that bite to it, but although when it's flat,
to me it gets flat faster.
But even when it's flat, it tastes the same nearly.
It does.
Coke doesn't do that. Coke just gets kind of diluted when it gets flat. You gotta be very specific. It's a science. Coke is a science. But with that being said, friends, that's all we have for you today. Once again, thank you, Ambi, for joining me on this. I'm glad you're here. Yes, I love you. Mwah.
Ow.
Yes.
Headbutt.
Yeah, she better let me back. We're getting married. And now she's second guessing it. I announced it on live YouTube. People watch YouTube more than they watch cable TV nowadays.
They do.
So
it's all about streaming now.
And look at my viewers. I got a few. We're going to get phone calls in from people we didn't even tell.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I?
Vote yes in the comments below. But with that being said, friends, I have been your humble curator. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I might be doing... The Theory channel's been nice to me so far. I've done at least 1 or 2 reaction videos to them, give my own little 2 cents on it, and they've been super nice. They haven't flagged me or copyright claimed me or anything like that. They've been really cool with me. Thank you so much. You know, because I love these kind of videos, and I like reacting to these kind of videos because I have my own little 2 cents to throw in every now and again, especially when I go look at game theory also. Woo! I have some theories. Anyways, once again, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'll be bringing more to you later on. This is going to be an extra video. So, today will be Friday soon. Yeah, this will be an extra video because I have at least 1 more coming out for you today for Fighting Friday, of course. So, stay tuned for that. This will be out an hour earlier, so stay tuned. Don't forget. And like always, I have been your humble curator. And until next time, signing off.